Hello, collective. Welcome to the Moon Report. My name is Marlene, the modern mystic, and your resident moon goddess, here to discuss and celebrate the first full moon of 2025 in Cancer. I wanted to remind everyone that the Moon Report has now moved to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you jot it down, set a reminder, and join us. If you are part of the collective and you've never joined us live, you can find the link to the Zoom on Mighty Networks under events, and you can join us. We usually have a really fun Q&A after, and we kind of share and support each other through how we're handling the shifts, the changes of energy, and the way that astrology affects us in our personal lives. Um, we are constantly being affected by the aspects and the movements of these planets and the signs and the stars. And this really shows up in our lives in different ways, in different manifestations. But usually we are all going through something very similar. And the power of these Q&As are to really uplift each other and really raise up our intentions and our prayers, um, by discussing and really acknowledging and bringing awareness to that mystery. So we would love to have you. Hopefully you can join us at this time. Since we've changed it to this time, maybe it opens up some opportunity for you to join us. So the full moon in Cancer happened at 5:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday, January 13th. And it was conjunct Mars. Mars happens to be in retrograde in Cancer. And when when planets are conjunct, they're within 5 degrees of each other, very close to each other. And they're having a conversation, they're having a relationship, they're relating to each other in a way that really brings up the energy of both the planets. And with the full moon and Mars conjuncting in retrograde, we are, our movement, our drive, our intentions, our actions are being reviewed and recalibrated in some way. And it depends where this is happening in your personal natal chart, in your like astrological map that happened when you were born. Um, Wherever this is hitting your chart, it is showing us how we emotionally process what we're doing, what we're going for, what we're taking action. Doesn't necessarily like to be in Cancer, and much less Cancer in retrograde. So, Mars is definitely in a detriment here and struggling. And it just shows us where we struggle, where, we struggle to take action, or where we struggle to really, move with confidence and exert ourselves in a way where we are getting the most out of life, where we're fulfilling our desires. And, in its shadow, Mars can, be a little testy. There may be a little bit of attitude going around. Cancer really is recluse in many ways. Um, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it being a full moon, it's like accentuating all things emotional. So you may find yourself a little bit testy or petty, or find others in that way. So, really, I recommend all types of self-care in this full moon in Cancer. Like, Cancer is the master of self-care and really nurturing ourselves, mothering ourselves through the process. So I really invite you to indulge in all things Cancer, like draw yourself a beautiful bath. Go and visit the ocean. I mean, I know some places it's super cold right now, but here in South Florida and Miami, we are lucky that we can visit the ocean whenever we want. So, find ways to connect with yourself and bring, relaxation and calm and peace as much as you can to your nervous system because everyone is processing their emotions around their desires right now. And in addition to that, Mars is opposing Pluto. Um, it's not an exact situation that's going on there, but it's you know it's bringing up a lot of these death and rebirth kind of themes where Pluto tends to attach when change happens with Pluto. And, it's kind of like the Tower card in the tarot. It's these kinds of moments that hit you where it hurts. And you experience that loss and that grief around whatever attachment you had to whatever it is you're losing, right? And it tends to bring up a lot of leaving behind what doesn't serve you and really being open to something new. There's change that's happening here. And with this type of change, there could be a death process that could be quite, challenging. But the silver lining, the good news is that, the nodes have changed. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. But with with the nodes changing from Aries and Libra to Pisces and Virgo, it brings Mars out of rulership of the North Node. Aries is ruled by Mars, and since the nodes have changed from those signs, it's really signifying that whatever it is we've been processing is finding its way into not an end per se, but some sort of resolution or some sort of comfort around the situation. The intensity, let's say, around the situation or whatever it is that we're processing in this way, in this kind of loss and grief type of way, is finding its way to the light. And that's really good. That's for me and personally and my own experience, that's really good news. And I hope that that is really good news for you because hopefully, however, this grief and this loss has shown up for you, you're already feeling the effects and the lightening of the nodal shift. So when I speak about the nodes, this is in relation to the moon, and the moon's nodes shift every 18 months. And we have just come off of the 18-month journey of Aries and Libra, where we had to really reclaim our power around our independence, around our relationships, around how we self preserve in relationship and really getting to know ourselves in a raw way and letting go of those relationships that didn't allow us to be in our full authenticity, that for some reason needed to either be restructured or needed to be let go. And within that change, now we're moving the nodes from this aspect to Pisces and Virgo, North Node being in Pisces, South Node being in Virgo. So that is an axis, right? These two signs oppose each other. And within these two signs, we get to look towards the past south node and the lessons that we've learned. And now, when I'm talking about the nodes, these are like gateways, portals. It could feel very otherworldly because it has to do with our destiny. And when we're talking about the nodes, we're expanding into other dimensions as well. So this might be past life stuff coming up as well. So the south node being in Virgo, and then the north node is in the direction that we're headed as a collective in this case. Everyone has a personal north and south node in their own chart, but this is more where we're going together. And that being Pisces, it's a lot of surrendering into what we don't understand sometimes, and how we allow our thoughts to pull us away from our dreams, our aspirations, um, you know, what inspires us. So Virgo can get stuck in those thoughts. And really, we're being asked to be an observer of that, to be extremely aware of where in our thoughts we, rid ourselves of magic, where we get so stuck that we bring perfectionism in, and a lot of worry and being rigid at times. So we get to look at that. We get to explore the shadow side of Virgo and how we can flip that, how we can meet in the middle of Virgo and Pisces. This is an 18-month journey, so we're going to be talking about this for, for quite some time. I really like to bring up the nodes in these moon reports a lot because I just find them to be so powerful, so powerful, so informative, and really um, magical in the way that they open things up for us. And how we can, in our awareness of watching where the nodes are, we can see how we are collectively and personally evolving. And it's, and interesting that the Neptune is now going to be coming from Mars being the ruler of the North Node now into Neptune. This is quite a different energy, and we're going to be talking about it for quite some time. To understand, because Neptune's in Pisces is boundless. It's beyond our comprehension sometimes. It's beyond our ability to answer with what we know as to be reality, where we move in this reality. So it's really interesting to embrace that and really allow yourself to see where it is that you don't surrender and where it is that you get stuck, and really become aware of your thoughts and intentionally redirect them into something more aspiring, something that inspires you to be creative, to allow that flow that we can connect to in life. And sometimes when we're out of flow is when things get complicated and we get really, really attached to things. So, where is it that you're over clinging, and where can you surrender a little bit more? And, this is a beautiful full moon to, really, really dive deep into your emotions and use this kind of watery energy to, like, how they say the only way, to the other side is like through it. Like the only way you can get there is just going through it. Well, it's time to go through it, and it's time to sit with it and not be afraid of what'll happen if you invite your emotions in and you allow yourself to process them and allow it to be messy if it's messy. Give yourself the space during this time to really open yourself up to vulnerability. And it's not that you have to show it to anyone else or, go out there, doing that. It could be a personal process that you go through. It could be something that you really allow yourself to do, especially if you're not comfortable doing it. So I hope that you feel the yumminess of this moon and do something to nurture yourself and help yourself feel good. You know, cancers love to snuggle, cancers love to, lay on the couch with their favorite blanket and a hot cup of tea. Cancers love to share with their friends and talk and express themselves. Cancers loves to be a child and to be playful in that way. So allow yourself to be all these things. And I will see you in the next new moon. Um, I hope that you will join us. And if you're watching this on a replay, thank you so much for supporting and always coming back to watch. It's so, so appreciated. Thank you so much, everybody. Have fun. Take care.